Hello and welcome to my course. I'm David Work and I paint almost exclusively in watercolor. I've been doing this professionally for more than 20 years now. And my paintings have regularly appeared in lifestyle magazines and my pictures hang in many galleries. Over the years I've developed my own style and I'll pass my knowledge on to you. If you practice, you'll develop your own style. It's best if you learn to paint quickly and loosely, because these are the type of paintings for the times we live in. Of course, you also need the right tools, and I'll show you these as well. Right, let's first talk about the paper you're going to use. If you use an ordinary cartridge paper or a bond paper, the water will just skid off the surface, whereas with a proper watercolor paper, it absorbs the water and the paint to some extent. If you use a thin paper, it's going to crinkle, as you can see here, but there's a way around that. So we take a sheet of watercolor paper and soak it. We'll leave it in there for about 5 minutes. Then when we take it out, we drain it and put it onto the board which you're going to use. We just wipe it over with a sponge or a cloth. And then we put gummed paper tape over 4 sides, like so, while the paper's still wet. As the paper dries, it will go taut, and when you paint, it won't expand again. Best thing is to do this last thing at night, and you can leave it to dry until the morning. Now then, a word of warning. If you leave it at that sort of angle to dry, when you come down the next day, because the water will have soaked down to the bottom, undoubtedly the gum tape will have torn and the paper will not be of any use. So you must lay it horizontally to dry. Gum tape is readily available from Staples or indeed from your art shop. And if you buy a big roll like this, it'll last for ages, and you can also use it to frame paintings as well. And when you've done this a few times, you find, well, at least I found it was quite a bore. So what I did was I started painting on a thicker paper, and this is a 200-pound Bockingford. And it's rather like card, really. And the size of paintings I do are mostly 16 by 12 inches. And in that size, I don't need to stretch the paper. It stays fairly stable. Of course, when I'm painting a lot bigger, then I've really got to soak it in the bath and go through all the performance of stretching it. Now you've got to decide what size you're really going to paint. Personally, I wouldn't paint below 14 by 10, but it is up to you. The first thing you ought to do is go round the photo frame shops and see what frames are available. It's no good doing a size where you have to have a bespoke frame, because that will cost you money. When I said 16 inch by 12 inch, that was the image size. And of course, All watercolours are framed with a mount around them. So this case is 16 by 12 is the inside measurement, and the frame size is in fact 16 by 20. And this is the way that I buy frames in quantity ready-made, complete with the mount. And you can generally buy a picture frame from a shop complete with the mount. We're going to do framing at the end of the course, and by doing your own framing you'll save loads of money. Watercolour paper comes with 3 different surfaces. First of all, there's HP, which means hot pressed. And because it's hot pressed, it comes with a completely smooth surface, which is very useful for botanical drawings and such like. And the second finish is called NOT, which is slightly rough. You would hardly believe this, but NOT means not hot pressed. And it is in fact cold pressed. It's pressed between platens with cloth, and this cloth gives it the ridged surface. The NOT surfaces are most popular and the one that I expect you'll be using. The third